If age spots were just a harmless sign of getting older, why do they appear faster in people with diabetes, heart disease, and chronic inflammation? That's not aging, that's damage. We've been taught to call them liver spots, to blame the sun, or simply shrug and say, it's normal. But your body doesn't create pigment randomly. It does it in response to stress, deep, cumulative, cellular stress that builds silently for years. Those brown spots are not cosmetic flaws. They are visible markers of oxidative overload and metabolic strain. And if your skin is showing that level of damage, it raises a far more important question. What's happening inside your blood vessels, your brain, your organs? Most treatments focus on bleaching the surface. Almost nobody talks about why the spots formed in the first place. In this video, I'm going to show you what age spots really signal, why the common explanations are incomplete, and how to address the biological root cause before it accelerates further. Because this isn't about appearance. It's about what your body is trying to warn you about. Let me say something that might surprise you. Sun exposure is not the real root cause of age spots. Yes, ultraviolet light plays a role, but blaming the sun alone is like blaming rain for a flooded basement while ignoring the cracked foundation. The sun may trigger the visible change, but it does not explain why some people develop heavy pigmentation while others with similar sun exposure do not. The bigger problem is that most conventional approaches treat age spots as a cosmetic issue. Dermatologists freeze them, laser them, or prescribe bleaching creams. Beauty brands promise brightening and spot correction. And while those treatments may fade the surface pigment, they do absolutely nothing to address why your body started overproducing melanin in the first place. Age spots form because your skin cells are under chronic oxidative stress. Over time, your body accumulates reactive oxygen species, unstable molecules generated from poor diet, high blood sugar, pollution, chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and mitochondrial dysfunction. These molecules damage proteins, lipids, and DNA. Your cells respond by activating protective pathways, including increased melanin production. Melanin is not the enemy. It's a defense mechanism. It acts like a biological shield, attempting to absorb and neutralize damage. When oxidative stress becomes persistent, melanocytes, the pigment-producing cells, become overactive in certain areas. The result? Concentrated patches of pigment that we casually label as age spots. But here's the deeper issue. The same oxidative stress that is driving pigment changes in your skin is also affecting your blood vessels, your pancreas, and your brain. Studies consistently show that individuals with metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes tend to develop these spots more aggressively and earlier in life. That's not coincidence. That's systemic damage expressing itself on the surface. So when we laser away a spot without correcting blood sugar instability, without reducing inflammation, without improving mitochondrial efficiency, we're essentially silencing the alarm without putting out the fire. Age spots are not random. They are not inevitable, and they are not purely cosmetic. They are visible biomarkers of cumulative metabolic stress. If you only treat the pigment, you're treating the smoke, not the underlying biochemical fire that created it. And until we address that fire, the process continues. Now let's break this down in a way that actually makes sense. Imagine your body as a city powered by millions of tiny energy plants. These energy plants are called mitochondria. Their job is to convert nutrients into usable energy. Every time you eat, move, think, or even breathe, your mitochondria are working. But here's the catch. Energy production always creates waste. In the case of your cells, that waste comes in the form of reactive oxygen species, unstable molecules often referred to as free radicals. In small amounts, free radicals are normal. Your body is designed to handle them. You have built-in antioxidant systems like glutathione, superoxide dismutase, and catalase that neutralize these molecules before they cause harm. The problem begins when production exceeds defense. When you consume excess sugar, processed carbohydrates, industrial seed oils, or live under chronic stress, your mitochondria are forced to work inefficiently. Blood sugar spikes increase glycation, a process where glucose binds to proteins and damages them. Insulin resistance further disrupts cellular signaling. Inflammation rises. All of this dramatically increases oxidative stress. Now let's zoom in on your skin. Your skin contains specialized cells called melanocytes. Their job is to produce melanin, the pigment that gives skin its color and helps protect against ultraviolet radiation. Melanin production is controlled by an enzyme called tyrosinase. When your body senses oxidative stress or DNA damage, signaling pathways activate tyrosinase, increasing melanin synthesis as a protective response. Think of it like this. If your skin detects danger, it turns up the shield. But here's where it gets interesting. As we age, and especially when metabolic health declines, our antioxidant systems weaken. Glutathione levels drop. Mitochondrial efficiency declines. Chronic low-grade inflammation becomes the norm. This state is sometimes called inflammaging. In this environment, melanocytes don't just respond to occasional stress. They are constantly stimulated. Instead of evenly distributed pigment, certain clusters of melanocytes become hyperactive. Why certain areas? Because damage is not uniform. Areas exposed to more environmental stress or with higher local inflammation accumulate more cellular injury. The result is localized overproduction of melanin. That's your H spot. But remember, the pigment itself is not the primary problem. It is a downstream effect. Underneath that visible spot, there has likely been years of oxidative stress, glycation damage, mitochondrial dysfunction, chronic inflammation, impaired cellular repair. Your skin simply reveals what your metabolism has been experiencing internally. This is why two people of the same age can look dramatically different. Chronological age and biological age are not the same thing. Age spots reflect biological aging, not just time. And biological aging is largely driven by cumulative oxidative burden and metabolic stress. When you understand that, the strategy changes completely. Instead of asking, how do I remove the spot? You start asking, how do I reduce the stress that created it? And that question changes everything. Now that you understand the root cause, the strategy becomes clear. We're not trying to bleach pigment. We're trying to reduce oxidative stress and restore metabolic balance. Here's exactly where to start. Number one, stabilize your blood sugar. Nothing accelerates oxidative damage like repeated glucose spikes. Every surge of blood sugar increases glycation and free radical production. Start by eliminating refined sugars, ultra-processed carbohydrates, and sugary drinks. Prioritize protein, healthy fats, and fiber at every meal. If possible, take a 10 to 15-minute walk after eating to blunt glucose spikes. Stable blood sugar means less mitochondrial stress and less stimulus for excess melanin production. Number two, increase your antioxidant capacity. Remember, oxidative stress is only dangerous when it overwhelms your defenses. Support your natural antioxidant systems with nutrient-dense foods, dark leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, berries, green tea, turmeric, and high-quality extra virgin olive oil. Focus especially on nutrients that support glutathione production, such as sulfur-rich foods like garlic, onions, and broccoli. Your goal is not to megadose supplements randomly. It's to rebuild your internal defense system. Number 3, reduce chronic inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation keeps melanocytes in a constant state of activation. Improve sleep quality. Aim for 7-8 hours of deep, consistent sleep. Manage stress through breath work, resistance training, or daily walking. Reduce intake of industrial seed oils and highly processed foods, which are strongly linked to inflammatory pathways. Inflammation down means signaling to overproduce pigment goes down. Number 4, protect but don't fear the sun. The sun is not the villain, but damaged skin is more vulnerable. Use intelligent sun exposure. Avoid intense midday burns. Consider protective clothing or mineral-based sunscreen when exposure is prolonged. Short, controlled exposure can actually support metabolic health and vitamin D levels. The goal is balance, not avoidance. Number 5, support mitochondrial health. Exercise is one of the most powerful ways to improve mitochondrial efficiency. Resistance training and interval walking both stimulate mitochondrial biogenesis, meaning your cells literally build stronger energy systems. Stronger mitochondria produce fewer free radicals for the same amount of energy. Less waste, less stress, less signaling for excess pigment. When you apply these steps consistently, something important happens. Even if existing spots take time to fade, the biological environment that created them begins to shift. And when you change the environment, you change the outcome. If age spots are a visible sign of internal oxidative stress, there's another place this same process shows up, and it's far more dangerous. It shows up in your arteries. In my next video, I break down how oxidative damage and insulin resistance silently contribute to plaque buildup and cardiovascular disease, long before symptoms appear. If you want to understand how to slow biological aging from the inside out, that's the video you need to watch next. I'll see you there.